Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we will discuss about the real life interview question related to Python which I have faced in my interview. I have already given so many interviews, so I would like to share my experience and the question which I have faced my interview. So today in today's video, I will discuss about the file operation related Python questions because this is most important topic in the Python because in the production in any company you need to operate with the files. So file operation related questions are generally being asked in the Python interviews or any DevOps interview. So now let's get started. So first of all, I will let you know how we can create, open, or update the file because this is generally asked in the interview how you can open a file. They can give you a file and they can ask you to read the content of the file or they can ask you to update the content of the file. So let's see how we can do those operations in the Python. So first of all, let's see how we create a file. So you can create using open. You use the open file open and then you need to give the name of the file which you want to give. Okay, suppose I want to create example dot write a pen where I'm giving the then file dot write this is my first file. So what happens when you use this method to open and to open the file to create the file? So then you need to close the file dot close. You need to close it once you are done with the file. Now let me run this one. Okay, now let's see if the file is created sample.txt. So let me try to read the content. File open. To read the content, you first you need to give the file name. Then you need to give the mode because I want to read it, so I will give it R. R for read. Then file dot read. Okay, and then file dot close. You need to close it once you are done. Okay, now run it. So here I need to print it, otherwise it will not give any output here. So I have created this file and now I can see, I can read the content of the file. So this is how you can create the file and then read the content of the file. This is the one method, but there is other method that is preferred and normally being used in the companies or in actual production environment. That is, you need to use the with open. So what happens when you use this method, you don't need to close the file. Okay. For example, here when you are creating the file, you are writing it and then you need to close it. And if you are opening the file and reading the content, then you need to close it. But with open, you don't need to close it. So once it is done with the task, it will auto itself close it. So for example, I am the mode mode you want to open the file. Then as app here you need to add as app, then app dot read. Okay. And I want to print it, so I will have to give the print. That's it. Run it. Yeah. So here I don't need to close it. So when I use this option with open, so I don't need to close the file. But here, if you don't use the with open method, so then any company, the real environment, we use this. An interviewer can give you some file and they can ask you to update it, or they can ask you to create a file. So let me tell you how you can create and update the file. So suppose I have created one file. I want to add more content on this. Then I can use example in the A. We can append to the file as a then f dot write. So it will open the file in the append mode. Then I can write this is second line. Okay, this is second line. Now this is updated. Now let me again read this file. So yeah, we have this one also. This is the second line. So the second line is appended in the file. This is how you can read, write, or append the content in the file. And the preferred method is with open. We should always use the with open option to update the file, to create, update, or to do any operation. We should use the with open command. Okay. Now let me tell you that there is one question which was asked in my interview. They gave me some code and they asked me to tell what this code is doing. Okay. So so that was the code was for this find the longest line by the length. So they will not tell you that what this code is doing. They can just give you the code and they can ask you that what this code is doing, what we will get from this code. So, or they can ask you, how can you write a program? How can you write a function through which we can find the longest line from the file? So let's see how we can solve this problem. So you need to create a function, then find longest line. Okay. Then you need to pass a file name. Okay. File name you need to give. Then only we can check that file. No? We need to check the longest file from the given file. Okay. Then we will create a empty. Then we will create a empty string. We will initialize with empty string. Okay. So initially it will have the empty. Then we need to open this file because we need to read this file. So we will use with open and with open file name because file name we need to open the same file name comma, and we will open it in the read mode. Then after that we need to compare the length of the file. So what we will do with for each line we need to compare. For line in we need to give as well as a for line in. For line in f, if if length of line is greater than length of longest line. So here we are comparing our line with the longest line. So if it is greater than the longest line, then we need to in the longest line, we need to save the line. Okay. And after that, so when the all the iteration is completed, all the line is checked, then in the longest line, we will have the longest line. Okay. And at the end, we need to return, we will return the longest line. Okay. And let me check if this function is working. Longest line, and I need to give the file name example .txt. Let's see, run it. This is the second line, is the longest line. Okay, I can add this longest, this longest one. Okay, I am adding now. Read this file. Okay, now we have these content in example.txt, and we know that this is the longest line, right? Now let me run this program again. So yeah, we are getting the longest line, right? So let's see what we are doing. So we have created a function find longest line, and we are taking a file name from the user. Then we have a variable, we initialized it with the empty. We have created an empty string. Then we will open this file in the read mode, and then we will check each line, and we will compare the length of the line with the longest line. If the length of line is the greater than the longest line, then longest line will be the line. Okay. So using this operation, we will have the longest line in our longest line variable. At the end, we are returning the longest line, then we are calling the function, and then we are getting this output. So this is working as expected. So this is how. So in my interview, they gave me time and asked me what this function is, what are these code is doing. So they can give you the code, or they can ask you how can you write the code, how can you write the program to find the longest line by length. So this is how you can do it. Okay. I hope you like this video, and if you find this video useful, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. That's all for today. Thank you all for joining. Have a great day ahead.